You are not above the law, nor entitled to special treatment.
Sorry, I'm the DA. I was going 55 coming home from work.
55 and a 35.
I don't really care.
Okay.
So you can call Dennis.
Can you please come over here? This is on a traffic stop, ma'am.
Yes, it is. You can call Dennis Kohlmeyer right now.
Okay, I'm telling you why I stopped you. You didn't stop at all. Did you not hear my lights or sirens or anything?
No, I didn't actually. I was on the phone.
Okay, well, you're not supposed to be on the phone while you're driving either.
Yes, I am with the hands-free. Absolutely.
Okay. Why are you so upset at me? I'm doing my job. You just admitted to me that you were going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
Can you please tell him to leave me alone? It's
Officer Christopher. Can you stay over here, ma'am? This is a traffic. This is a legal traffic stop. Do you have your ID?
No, it's in my purse. Here.
You have your purse right there.
No, this is my lunch. Would you talk to Dennis? This is ridiculous. Just go away.
Hello, sir. Good. Ma'am, can you please stay at the back? This is legal traffic stop. Can you please stay over here?
First of all, if you're doing a traffic stop, do not let a person go back to the vehicle and get back in it. Once they're out, keep them out. I know he felt like his hands were tied because he's dealing with a DA, but I don't care, and she knows better. Well, before I get into my explanation, let's keep watching.
Sir, I stopped her for going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
On Phillips Road.
And she failed to stop. She drove all the way back home and parked in her garage. And now she's not complying with any of my commands. Ma'am, do not go inside.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, come outside. You can't just go inside. This is a traffic stop. Here's your phone back.
I understand the law better than you.
953. Can you have a supervisor come to the scene?
No. Get out of my fucking house.
I don't know why you're acting like this towards me.
Because
Can you please go to the back of the vehicle?
I'm not going to. I'm home. Okay, 55.
I don't care if you got home. You were supposed to stop at Phillips Road when I pulled you over. When my lights were initiated.
I didn't know you were stopping me. There was lots of other people on the road.
I was right behind you.
Yeah? There were other people on the road too.
Okay, I was directly behind you.
I'm not dealing with you right now.
Can you please step over here?
I'm not going to.
You say you're a DA?
I am the DA.
Okay.
She is the DA.
Okay, let me get you my badge. I am the DA of Monroe County.
She is the DA.
Just don't understand the hostility towards me. I'm doing my job.
No, you're being an asshole.
How am I being an asshole?
I am the DA of Monroe County.
She's the DA. Remember that. She's the DA.
Well, I'm having a supervisor come because that's what my chief told me to do. All right, ma'am. So I'm issuing you speed in zone 55 and a 35.
That's fine. I'll take care of it since I'll be prosecuting myself.
Okay.
Last Monday, I failed you and the standards that I hold myself to, and for that, I am so sorry. What I did was wrong, no excuses. I take full responsibility for my actions. I fell short of the values I've held for my entire 33-year career. I didn't treat this officer with the respect that he deserved. All police officers deserve respect. I am truly and sincerely sorry. I had just come from work. I was dealing with 3 homicides that occurred over the weekend. I watched a video where an innocent cab driver was executed, and I was still reeling from a frightening medical concern that my husband received that afternoon. But we all had bad days and stress, and it was wrong for me to take it out on an officer who was simply doing his job. While I previously apologized to him, I will say it again. I'm sorry. Police already have a tough job, and that day I made this officer's job harder. To the community, I owe you full transparency. Here's what I'm doing to hold myself accountable. First, I already pled guilty to the speeding ticket, and I will willingly pay the fine. Next, I'm referring the entire matter to a district attorney from another county for review and will fully cooperate with that investigation. I'm going to self-report this incident to the grievance committee, and I will cooperate with their investigation. Finally, if one of my assistant district attorneys had acted this way, I would have disciplined them. So I'm disciplining myself. I will take ethics training to remind myself that professionalism matters. I've been humbled by my own stupidity, and I am fully to blame. I will make this right. I ask for your forgiveness.
Woo, there are so many different layers to this. All right, let's start from the very beginning. Number one, let's just start with the officer's response first. Now, the officer shouldn't have let her go to the car get in the car or do anything like that. Now, I understand she's the DA, and I understand that, you know, he realizes like this is a political issue. And so that's why he's probably letting her do so much more maneuvering. But you just never know who people are. And if she's having a bad day, shoot, who knows? She could be trying to take this officer out with her. So from a safety standpoint, he should have never handled the situation this way. But I have to give you guys the but. We also have to be real. So for those of you guys that have watched this video, police and police alone, this is a very, very political situation. If you work for any police department or any job, quite frankly, you know that this has political bureaucracies written all over it. And if you're the officer in this scenario, you're like, are you freaking serious? Now I got to deal with this, because now, like, if I use force on her, if I do this, if I do that, now I'm going to hear from my chief and vice versa. So the human side from the officer is why he's probably allowing this to occur, because it's just a natural response. And again, I'm not justifying his behavior in this. I'm just saying from the humanistic side, this is probably why he allowed her to do it, because we all, if you have any type of job, if your boss or somebody tells you to do something or whatever it may be, if you know that there's political pressure, you're not going to act the way you would want to act or you should act. And so it's not justifying his behavior, but that's probably why he allowed it. The second thing is, I've had people hit me up that said, hey, look, in this scenario, it's had the person been black or whatever it may be, situation would have turned out differently. I've actually done recent breakdowns, actually one in New York City where a city councilman who was black was pulled over by a police officer, and the officer let them go and didn't give him gave him special treatment. They probably shouldn't have, but he did, just because city council member, they threw around their badge and stuff like that in the same exact manner. And so we've also seen people treated very similarly that were of a different race. And so to say that if they were black or Hispanic or Asian, that this situation would have evolved differently, I always say you never know, simply because every officer on stops or every officer is involved in traffic investigations are always different. And so because you have a different officer, it means you're always going to get a different response of how they handle the situation. So that's point number 2. Now let's get to her actions. Just because you are the DA does not give you any preferential treatment to get out of a speeding ticket or to get out of whatever traffic enforcement stop. If anything, you should be complying with what the officer's saying. If anything, especially if you prosecuted situations like this, especially if you've seen violence used against law enforcement officers, you should be complying with everything the officers have to say, because you're putting him in a compromising position. Not only are you putting him in a compromising position from a safety standpoint, but you are putting him in a compromising position from a political standpoint, because the moment he leaves the stop, he has to call the chief, and now he has to answer the questions as to why you let her go, or why you let her do this, or vice versa, or why did you arrest her, why did you give her a ticket. So you're putting him in such a compromising position. What she should have did, the moment she was pulled over by this officer, she should have said, hey, you know what, I'm sorry for speeding, I recognize I did wrong. And then during the conversation, if she felt inclined to let him know that she was the DA, she could have, but she could have said, hey, you know what, I'll take whatever my punishment it is, just because I shouldn't have been doing what I'm doing. Is that possible? It's absolutely possible. Look, guys, I'm not perfect. I have been pulled over a few times in a non-official capacity, and every single time I get pulled over, I have my hands in the air on the steering wheel, windows down, and I let them know I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been speeding, before I even let them know I'm a police officer, because I'm a civilian. And so we have to recognize that her behavior was, deplorable at best. And so I know she came out, and I know she wants the benefit of the doubt, and we also do have to recognize too, look, she did have a bad day, so for all we know, she could have had a bad day, but her actions were unacceptable. And so, if her punishment is being fired, then hey, look, like, you know what? I get it. I'm glad you acknowledge that, you had a bad day, but this is a person who is in power and in authority, and she's acting like this. What's to say another bad day won't have her acting another way or some similar manner? It's the same thing with law enforcement officers, even on the worst days. Even on our worst days, we have bad days, we see death, we see all these different things. It's not an excuse for us to just go and start treating the public any type of way and justify it because we had a bad day. So I'm grateful and appreciative of her apology, but in our profession, when you are in a position of authority, power, whether you're a judge, police officer, doctor, attorney, whatever it may be, we don't have that ability to allow the days that we have to affect the decision making in the field. So what do you guys think in the comment section below?